Hello, and welcome to Morning Motivation. I'm your host, Dakiana Jackson, small business marketing coach and founder of Inspired Marketing, Inc. Welcome to episode 4 in the How to Reduce Overwhelm in Your Business podcast series. Over the past 3 episodes, we talked about how to identify what's stressing you out, how to manage your online reputation, and even how to ask for what your services are worth. In episode 4, we're going to talk about how to build more time into your schedule. Most days, 24 hours does not feel like enough time to get everything done. Between clients, administrative tasks, personal obligations like family and friends, and then trying to sleep, it can feel like the day is gone before it even gets started. So, in this episode, again, we're going to talk about ways to build more time into your schedule. I'm going to be going over 4 ways, and I encourage you, if as you listen you think of additional tips, please send them my way. The first way to build more time into your schedule is to pick one thing to be consistent with. Pick one thing to be consistent with. When overwhelm starts to set in, it's easy to ignore everything on your to-do list. You're looking at the list is looking at you, and nothing is getting done. When those times hit, simplify. Pick one thing in your business that you're going to be consistent with. It could be that you log into Go Site to reply to new reviews every Monday morning. It could be you're going to send an email to your mailing list every third Thursday of the month. But whatever it is, commit to meeting the deadline no matter how imperfect the item is. For you perfectionists out there, speaking as a recovering one, yes, that means you might be sending out or producing something that is not perfect. That is not the point. The goal is to get you used to taking consistent action. For example, I send out a newsletter to my mailing list every Tuesday without fail. And I'll admit, it took me a while to get to that point because I was stuck in perfection. Oh my gosh, what if I say something wrong? Oh my goodness, what if they don't like what I put out there? What if nobody opens the mail? Blah, 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 excuse. But then one day I said, you know what? This is my one thing I'm going to be consistent with. I don't care what I put out, whether it's me asking someone how their month is going, whether it's me promoting these podcast episodes, whatever it is, I am going to produce something every single Tuesday. And it's been going well. It actually has gotten easier over time. I went from, oh my goodness, I don't know what to put out, to actually planning ahead. And then because my mind already knows Tuesday equals newsletter day, on that day, I can produce the newsletter as soon as I sit down, or even better, I can schedule it in advance. Once you've picked that one thing to be consistent with and have mastered it, you can apply it to other areas in your business. We're building out your discipline because discipline will help your business stay on track when motivation is not cutting it. We've talked about taking small, consistent steps in your business before, and that sounds great until you have a day where you're just not feeling it. So, on those days, you can encourage yourself all you want, but that discipline you developed is what's going to make the difference. So, again, pick one thing to be consistent with. You can take it a step further by adding in accountability. Tell somebody what your one thing is and then let them check up on you. And don't be mad when they do because you asked them to do it. So, like I said, my one thing was the newsletter. And I didn't even realize it was impacting people. I just knew I sent it out. Some people opened it. People were clicking links. Okay, awesome. But I didn't understand if there was really an impact on people until one day I was casually speaking with someone and they said, oh my gosh, I just love your consistency. I know that every Tuesday your newsletter is going to be in my inbox. Like, wow, okay. I didn't even know. And that also goes back to things we've spoken about before. You never know who's watching. The people that are following you the hardest or following you the most may never like what you put out on social media, for example. They may never reply to an email that you send, like a mass email, like a newsletter. Nothing. They just one day pop up and become clients or send you a random message, or like what happened with me, said, oh my gosh, this totally impacted me. Like, what? And so for those moments to happen, though, you got to be putting something out there. And if you do not have an accountability partner, my contact information is here in the description. Feel free to reach out to me and we can set something up. Because it's one thing to make a promise to yourself. We break those all the time. It is another thing to make a promise to someone else that you actually have to follow through on because they're going to ask you about it. So, tip one to build more time into your schedule again is pick one thing to be consistent with. Tip number two is batch content. We're always being told produce content, put something out there, whether it's social media, whether it's video, audio, written word. We are told to produce content, and that can be overwhelming. Unfortunately, it can also be a time that you fall into the comparison trap. You go online and you see someone is posting 3 to 5 videos a day. You posted one maybe within a week, if you're lucky. You see someone else who is doing a podcast episode a day, and you're lucky to get something in once a month. No, do not compare. It's always you against you. And when it comes to creating content, one thing that can help, though, is to batch it. And if you're not familiar with the term, it simply means creating more than one piece of content at one time. And there are 2 different approaches to content batching. One way is to schedule a block of time and use it to create several pieces of content at once. This could mean multiple blog articles, podcast episodes, newsletters, social media posts, whatever it is you need to create. The other way is to take advantage of those times when you feel on fire. You start writing one piece of content, for example, and you don't feel like stopping, so you don't. Scheduling set blocks of time for activities each day or each week or even each month could lead to more productivity. Your mind will start to expect that the time is coming and get into performance mode. This content can then be used part of your regular schedule of postings, or you can save it to post when you fall behind. You can have a very deep draft folder, for example, and whenever you're not feeling it, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to hit record, I don't have anything to write, you go into that folder, you click post, and it is done. That is a definite advantage of content batching. You can take it a step further by using automation tools. For example, you have all of these social media posts that you just batched. You can then put them inside of a social media scheduler, set the date you want it to go out, and then boom, it's done. You don't even have to worry about posting because it's already done for you. There are some third-party sites that you can pay for a subscription and put your posts up there. And most of the social media sites now have schedulers built in. So if you don't want to use an all-in-one type service, you can go to each of the social media sites and schedule posts. I want to talk a little bit more about automation. So I guess you consider this a bonus tip that you can use automation not just for social media, but really for just about every step of the customer interaction. For example, if you have a website, you can install a "How can I help you" type of chat feature. The chatbot engages with visitors automatically. You can access the chatbot right from your phone with the GoSite app. This makes you appear more accessible and removes the step for your potential customers. On the customer side, I really appreciate the chat feature because if I need to get in touch with customer service but don't want to be tied up on the phone, it's perfect. I can get my questions answered and still be working in another tab or doing something else. And that's the same thing that you can give your customers by having a chatbot on your own site. And as I said, it also removes an additional step for your customers when they're trying to contact you. They don't have to search your site for your email address. They also don't need to fill out a contact form and hope that someone may get back to them. They can enter their questions right then and there. And if you have a trusted employee or a contractor, you can delegate checking the chatbot to them, which will give you even more time back in your schedule. And programs like these can also help alleviate overthinking. Once the emails are scheduled, or the content is written, or even the post is scheduled to go out, there's nothing more for you to do except to let the automation systems run. You may even be surprised when you start getting some likes and comments and people replying to your newsletters. Like, wait, what did I put out there? A pleasant surprise for sure. So again, that step was batching content, and then I also have the little bonus tip in there about using automation tools. The next tip is to make booking appointments easy for your potential clients. So again, make booking appointments easy. Going back and forth with the potential client about the best time to schedule service can take forever. And if they find somebody who can book them faster than you can, you may end up losing a sale. Now, automated booking tools eliminate that whole when are you free type of message, whether it's through DMs, text messages, emails back and forth, phone calls. All of that can be eliminated with using a tool like GoSite, for example. It lets you add one-click booking to your website, Google, Facebook, and other platforms. It also syncs to your Google or Outlook calendar to make sure that no one can book during a time that you're not available. And text reminders reduce your client being a no-show. If something comes up and the client needs to reschedule, they can do that with one click too. That way, the slot on your calendar will reopen and you won't accidentally show up for a service that's no longer happening. All this happens without you being directly involved, which saves you time. So again, make booking appointments easy for your potential clients. Last tip is to delegate. Again, to delegate. We touched on this in episode 1. Burnout does not look good on you. If you're used to doing everything yourself, help is something that you don't think you need until you actually get it. For example, it took me years to get an assistant, and she has been a godsend since I've had her. It feels so good to be able to go into my email inbox and see that she's already answered some of the emails, she's posted articles to the blog, she's even flagged things that I need to follow up on. And getting help is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a smart decision for your business. It's not that you can't do those things that you're delegating. It's just that your time can be best spent doing something else. For example, because my assistant has taken some things off my plate, I now can spend time doing other things like recording this podcast. If you're unsure what to delegate, go back to the SOPs or standard operating procedures that we talked about in episode 1 of this Reduce Your Overwhelm in Business series. It is okay to outsource, especially if you've made your expectations clear and vet your potential contractors or employees. Your business is your baby, so of course you want to make sure that you're delegating tasks to the right person. And it's okay if you have to go through a few people before you get the right one. There is no shame in working with someone and realizing, you know what, this just is not going to work out. It's better to do that than to hold on to someone who is ending up being more trouble than they're worth. And there's a variety of ways to go about looking for help, from virtual assistant agencies, colleges for interns, job sites, and more. It's really about finding someone who's a good fit for you, and again, who operates in integrity. Those were my tips on how to build more time into your schedule. Pick one thing to be consistent with. Batch content with the bonus of using automation tools. Make booking appointments easy for your potential clients, and delegate. And as I said at the top of the episode, if there are other things that you're doing to both reduce overwhelm in your business and build more time back in your schedule, I would love to hear them. As before, any tech tools I mentioned will be linked inside the episode description. And there's also a link if you'd like to schedule time with me, join my mailing list, or just learn a bit more about your host. I hope you have an amazing day, and I wish you much success in your business. This has been Dakiana Jackson with your morning motivation. If you need help marketing your business, or even just a little motivation to keep going, contact me at www.inspiredmarketinginc.com. Until next time, have a blessed day.